Hello everyone, I'm Heidi from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you the flower tree crown from our Chinese aesthetic series, the Huaguan hanging ornament. It is divided into the main part and decorations. We will make them in sequence. The main part is divided into the sit piece and the crown body. First, complete crocheting the sit piece. Then finish the crown body. During the crocheting process, we attach the sit piece to complete the main part. Now let's start crocheting the sit piece. There are two types of sit pieces, left and right. The crocheting methods are almost identical, but the stitch order differs. Both start with the foundation chain. Along the foundation chain, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise. As you go, weave in the thin wire. This section uses a variety of stitches. I will explain in detail later. Let's start with the left sit piece. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. Before we begin, let's learn the proper posture for crocheting. To make it easier for you to see clearly, I will use thicker yarn for the demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn details, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the charts. First, take out a 20 cm thin wire and set it aside for use. Then, take out the corresponding color of yarn. Begin with the foundation chain. Wrap the yarn tail once around your left little finger. Pass it through between your middle finger and index finger. Pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the hook with your right hand. Place it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot doesn't count as one stitch. Gently tighten. CH stands for chain. The number before the chain is 15. This means you need to crochet 15 chains. Now start crocheting chains. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. One chain is completed. Each braid represents one stitch. The loop on the hook does not count as a stitch. Continue crocheting chains. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. This is the second stitch. Repeat this process. Continue to crochet 13 more chains. After completing, check the stitch count. There should be a total of 15 stitches. Next, start from the second chain from the hook. 1, 2. This chain. Pick up the top loop, which means make one single crochet into this strand. Insert the hook. And at the same time, add the thin wire. Place it above the hook, below the yarn tail, and wrap it into the pieces you crochet. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There will be 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all the loops on your hook. One single crochet is completed. It should correspond to a V-shaped braid on the upper right. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue to work single crochets downward. Insert your hook into the top loop of the left chain. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through both loops on your hook. The second single crochet is completed. Continue picking the top loop of each chain below and work 5 single crochets. After completing, pick the top loop of each chain and work 3 half double crochets. Let's start with the first one. Yarn over. Insert your hook. Yarn over again. Draw the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and draw through all loops on your hook. The first half double crochet is completed. Next, work 1/2 double crochet into the adjacent chain on the left. Yarn over, insert your hook. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through all 3 loops on your hook. The second half double crochet is completed. Continue down and work another half double crochet. TM stands for HDC3 tog. Start by yarn over. Pick the top loop of the adjacent chain. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. This is an unclosed half double crochet. Next, work another unclosed half double crochet into the adjacent chain. Yarn over. Insert your hook. Yarn over again, and draw the yarn through. The second unclosed half double crochet is now done. Continue down and work another unclosed half double crochet. Now you should have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through all loops on the hook. This completes one HDC3 tog. Now you have reached the position of the last stitch. For the final chain, pick the top loop. Work 7 half double crochets. At this point, you have crocheted to the other side of the foundation chain. Pull the thin wire. Make sure both ends have the same length. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chain and continue crocheting. The entry position on this side corresponds to the position on the other side. TV refers to a HDC 2-in-1. 4 TV means crocheting 4 consecutive HDC 2-in-1. Let's start with the first HDC 2-in-1. That is, in the adjacent insertion position on the left side. Work 2 half double crochets. Note that the first stitch should not be worked into the insertion position of the 7 half double crochets. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the left chain and crochet 2 half double crochets. Pay attention. Place the starting yarn tail above the hook and weave it into the piece along with the wire. One, 2. The HDC 2-in-1 is completed. Continue to crochet 3 more HDC 2-in-1 in the corresponding chains. Continue weaving in the yarn tail, then crochet 1 more half double crochet. One HDC 2-in-1. One single crochet. The V indicates a SC 2-in-1, which means crocheting 2 single crochets in the same position. 1, 2. The SC 2-in-1 is completed. Corresponding to the chains below, crochet 5 single crochets. Then, make 1 chain. Then slip stitch to the first single crochet. Insert the hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Pull through all loops on the hook. Tighten. Secure with 1 chain. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail and cut the yarn. Weave in the ends on the wrong side. Trim any excess yarn tails. The starting chain yarn tail has already been woven in for a few stitches. It can now be cut. Pull the thin wire again to make the stitches lay flat. Ensure both ends of the wire are roughly the same length. Tighten the wire. This completes the left side piece. As you can see, the left end of this side piece curls up naturally. The wire is on the right end. Next, crochet the right side piece. The method is almost the same as for the left side. The stitches have been explained earlier. Please refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete the crocheting. This is the right side piece looks like after completion. It is symmetrical on both sides. That concludes the explanation of the side piece. Next, we will crochet the crown body, using the magic ring to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. While crocheting, you need to connect the side piece. The new stitches used include SC2 tog. Before we start, let's see the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The stitch instructions column describes the stitches and increases or decreases when working the current round. The total stitches column shows the total number of stitches after completing that round. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. The first row of the chart is magic ring 7x, which means to start with a magic ring and crochet 7 single crochets in the first round. Pick up the yarn with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your index finger. Pinch the overlapping part of the loops with your right thumb and index finger. Take it out. Then hang the yarn end on your left hand. Transfer the loop to your left hand. Pick up the hook with your right hand. Insert the hook into the loop. Yarn over, pull the yarn through. Then make 1 chain to secure it. The magic ring is now complete. Next, crochet the first round. Start with a chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This chain does not count as a stitch. Then work 7 single crochets into the ring. After that, close the magic ring. There will be 2 loops. First, gently pull the starting yarn tail. There is 1 loop that is still active. Tighten this active loop. One loop remains. Directly pull the yarn tail tight. This will close the ring securely. Then work one slip stitch into the first single crochet, which is the second braid from the left. 1, 2. It is this stitch, if you really can't tell. You can also count the stitches backward. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's still this stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch. Yarn over and draw through. Draw through the 2 loops on hook. Pull tight. The slip stitch is not indicated in the chart. When crocheting in rounds, always finish with a slip stitch and pull tight. The first round is now completed. Continue with the second round, the 7V in the chart. Work 7 SC2 in 1. Start with 1 beginning chain. Let me emphasize this again. At the beginning of each round, you need to make a beginning chain. I won't repeat this for subsequent rounds. In the first stitch of the previous round, make a SC2 in 1. This is the insertion point of the slip stitch. Work 2 single crochets here, and weave in the yarn tail at the same time. Then continue to the corresponding stitch on the left. Work 6 SC2 in 1 in sequence. Finish this round. Finally, slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. You can trim the excess yarn tail from the beginning. The second round is now complete. Move on to the third round. X, V, times 7, parentheses indicate a group. Times several times indicates the number of times to repeat the group. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 SC2 in 1. X, V, is now completed. Continue with the group of 1 single crochet and 1 SC2 in 1. Repeat this sequence 6 more times. Finally, slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. The third round is now complete. You can see that the texture on the right side is more distinct. The wrong side appears more blurred. During the crocheting process, keep the right side always facing you. Now, let's work on the fourth round. Start with 1 SC2 in 1. Then work 2 single crochets sequentially. V2X is now completed. Continue by repeating the group of 1 SC2 in 1 and 2 single crochets 6 more times. Finally, join with a slip stitch and pull tight. That completes the fourth round. Now, let me show you how to count the rounds. On the right side of the piece, there will be raised textures. Count how many of these raised textures you see. That indicates how many rounds have been completed. 1, 2, 3, 4. This means you have crocheted 4 rounds. from the 5th round to the 15th round in the chart below. The crochet method is relatively simple. The stitches used have all been demonstrated in detail before. The instructions for increasing have similar meanings to those previously explained. Just follow the stitch order in the chart, and repeat crocheting the corresponding number of times. Let me explain this part. In the chart, R7, and from R10 to R15, work evenly means, these rounds involve crocheting one single crochet in each stitch. Complete all the stitches listed in the chart for each round. When crocheting, don't forget to work the beginning chain and slip stitch. This is a sample where I crocheted several rounds evenly. Crocheting evenly will make the piece naturally curl. Adjust the piece so that the right side faces out. Move on to start round 16. I will continue to demonstrate using this sample. The number of rounds and stitches in the sample is not for reference. It only demonstrates the method. First, crochet 6 single crochets. After completing, A represents a SC2 tog. Insert the hook into the adjacent stitch on the left. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. This is an unclosed single crochet. Then make another unclosed single crochet. Insert and yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops on the hook. A SC2 tog is completed. 6XA is now done. Crochet another group. First, crochet 6 single crochets. Then work at SC2 tog. First, work 2 unclosed single crochets. 1, 2. Then yarn over and draw through all loops. The SC2 tog is completed. Following this, use the method of crocheting 6 single crochets and 1 SC2 tog. Repeat this group 5 times. Finally, slip stitch and pull tight. This completes the round 16. Now move on to round 17. This round is worked evenly, while simultaneously connecting the side piece. First, take the left side piece, which is the one that curls upwards on the left end. When the right side is facing you, with the wire facing to the right, place it below the hook, and above the yarn tail. Then make 1 chain, wrapping around the wire. Adjust the side piece, with the wrong side facing you. Leave about the length of 5 single crochets for the wire. Fold the excess part to the left. Pick up stitches downward, wrapping around the wire. Do not wrap the folded part of the wire for now. Work 5 single crochets sequentially. After completing, fold the side piece downward. Continue picking up stitches and working single crochets. Continue crocheting until you reach the 6th stitch from the end of this round. Upon reaching the correct position, place the right side piece, with the wire facing left, against the piece. Ensure the wrong side of the side piece is facing you. Wrap the wire, and work 5 single crochets sequentially. After completing, adjust the tension. Bend the excess thin wire to the right. Then work one slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes round 17. Move on to round 18. This round requires decreasing stitches. Follow the crochet method from round 16. At the same time, wrap the bent wire of the sit piece in the same direction. As you approach the last few stitches, bend the wire at the corresponding position. Wrap the wire. Complete this round. Finish with a slip stitch and pull tight. This way, we have completed round 18. Next, continue to follow the chart to complete the remaining rounds. For round 22, finish the last stitch with a slip stitch and pull tight. Finally, weave in the ends on the wrong side. This is what it looks like after completing the sample. Adjust the protruding wire to the inside of the piece. Bend it back. Secure it. Handle the other side in the same way. This concludes the crocheting of the crown body. Next, we will attach the decorations. The decorations including the body decorations, the pendant tassels, the hanging string, assemble, and the sit piece decorations, which are completed in sequence. Let's start with the body decorations. These include the edge lace trim, sequin decorations, calyx for petals, calyx for pistils, tubular bead small flowers. Install them in order. First, take out the gold lace trim. Trim one end slightly. Burn it with fire to prevent fraying. Starting from the side of the edge where the slip stitch is located, apply glue. Begin attaching it. Match the middle part of the lace trim with the yellow horizontal strip area. Follow the edge of the crown opening and glue it all around. Make sure the beginning and ending meet. Cut off the excess part. Burn it again to seal the edges. Then, turn the crown's top facing up. Below each bend in the lace trim, in the middle of the texture. Glue a half bead. Complete this on your own. Once the glue is completely dry, attach the sequin decorations. Let's take a look at the finished product. With the crown top facing upward, the sequin decorations are arranged in 3 rows from bottom to top, each row decreasing in number and offset from one another. Now, please watch as I demonstrate. I will use this small sample to demonstrate. The half beads are already installed in the actual piece. This small sample is just for demonstrating the method. Take the thread used for the crown body. Extract one strand and thread it into the sewing needle. I have already threaded it here. Find the middle of the front of the crown body, round the 5th single crochet round from the bottom. Count about 8 stitches to the right. Weave in the yarn tail first. Secure the sewing thread. Insert the sequin. Sew and secure it. Move to the left. For every interval of about 2 single crochets, sew 1 sequin. Carry the yarn across the middle of the piece. Sew a total of 5 sequins in this row. The method is the same for all. Complete it on your own. After finishing the first row, carry the sewing thread through the middle of the stitches to the second row. Count up to the 8th round of single crochets. Start from the middle position between the 2 left sequins of the first layer. Begin sewing sequins to the right. This layer of sequins should be staggered from the first layer. Sew a total of 4 sequins. After completing, continue to carry the yarn to the 3rd row. This is the 11th single crochet round from the end. The position is in the gap between the sequins in the middle row. Refer to the finished product and previous instructions to attach the sequins. I will demonstrate the ending method using this small sample. The number of sequins on the small sample is not for reference. Tie a knot. Weave in the ends. This completes the installation of the sequins. After completion, glue red acrylic rhinestones onto the sequins and the metal small flowers. In the middle of the first row, glue an acrylic rhinestone onto this sequin. Attach small flowers on both sides. At the back, just make sure to space these 2 types of decorations apart. Place and attach them as shown. Refer to the finished product or choose according to personal preference. Make sure the glue is completely dry before proceeding to the next step. This concludes the explanation for the sequin decoration. The remaining calyx for petals, calyx for pistils, the 2 bead small flowers, and half beads are randomly distributed. The overall distribution is roughly even. You can refer to the finished product or determine the positions according to personal preference. Choose and use accordingly. First, attach 2 types of calyx decorations, securing them with glue. Then, glue the half beads in the middle. After the glue is completely dry, install the 2 bead small flowers in the gaps. There are individual 2 bead small flowers, and some come in clusters of 3. The installation method is the same for both. Let me demonstrate the installation method using a small sample. First, take the yarn and thread it through the sewing needle. The needle should be able to pass through the tube beads and seed beads. Start by weaving in the tail. Secure the sewing thread in place. Thread through the tube beads and the small metal flowers. Make sure the concave side of the flowers faces up. Then pass through a seed bead. Now go back through, passing through the flower again, and the tube bead. Pull slightly to tighten. Securing it onto the piece. If you're installing a cluster, continue installing the tube beads and small flowers in the same position. I won't continue sewing further if you're only installing one. Then transition to the next position and continue installing. Once installation is complete, weave the yarn tails. Weave the thread through the piece a few times, making sure the stitching doesn't show. Cut the yarn. Follow this method to install these 3 types of decorations on the crown. This concludes the decoration part of the main part. Next, we'll make the pendant tassel. Take the thread and insert it into a sewing needle. Tie a knot with 2 strands. Make sure the knot is secure. Take out the tassel. Tie the hanging string around the pineapple knot. Once completed, weave the excess hanging string inside the pineapple knot. Trim off the excess hanging string. Weave it inside the tassel. Then, insert the needle from inside the tassel knot and pull through the top. Pass through the knot you made. Next, thread through 4 small white beads. Then, pass through the bottom circular hole of the wood pendant. Thread back through the beads. Tie a knot. Weave the thread inside the beads. Cut off any excess thread. Take a 40 centimeters length of sewing thread. Thread the needle and tie a knot. Pass through the top circular hole of the wooden pendant. Thread back through the knotted loop. Then, pass through 1 red bead and 5 small white beads. This makes 1 group. Repeat for 3 groups. The sample has fewer beads. I will only demonstrate the method. Please complete the remaining 3 groups of beads on your own. That concludes the pendant tassel. Leave the remaining sewing thread and needle attached for now. Set it aside for later use. Next, we will crochet the hanging string. First, take out the corresponding color of yarn. Start with a slip knot. Crochet a string about 20 centimeters long. Then join the beginning and end with a slip stitch. Secure it with 1 chain. Pull tight. Weave in the ends. This completes the hanging string. Set it aside for later use. Next, we will assemble the pieces. Take out the pendant tassel and the main part. The main part decorations are already assembled. Here, the sample only demonstrates the assembly method. Locate the center of the starting point. Work from the inside out. Draw through with the sewing needle. Then insert 4 small white beads. Next, fold the hanging string in half at the knot. At this knot position, sew a few stitches to connect and secure it. Tie a knot. Weave in the yarn tail inside the hanging string. Trim excess tail. That concludes the explanation for the hanging string and assembly. Next, we will attach the seed piece decorations. Start with the right side. At the insertion point of 7 half double crochets, apply glue. Attach a small metal motif. Place the concave side facing you. Then, glue a seed bead in the middle of the small flower. Next, move to the right with about a 1 cm interval. At the chain position, attach another small metal motif and a seed bead. Then move to the left. At the same interval, attach a small motif and a seed bead. Finally, glue a white half bead in between each. Install the decorations symmetrically on the other side as well. That concludes the explanation of the seed piece decorations. This completes the explanation of the flower tree crown. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.